Texas is very big on business, you know? Refineries are businesses, and it's hard to trust anybody. It really is. You can walk out here at certain times and you can just smell the chemicals in the air. Back in 1981, it was a summer. Me and my sibling got up in the morning and we went outside and there was all this white stuff all over the cars. And I got out like, look, it's snow. You know, and me and my brother were out there playing in it. And my mom comes out like, mijo, I don't think you should be playing in that because it's August. That ain't no snow. We don't know what it is. Back then, you could see the pollution more than you can see it now. Now, the technology's gotten so much better that you don't see it, but just because you don't see it don't mean it's not there. Now the particles are smaller. I like living here. It's safe, it's low on crime. We know each other, small community. We're trying our best to make some changes and trying to educate people on what it is. Because that's the problem, is a lot of people just don't understand. Reporters come up to me all the time. They're like, hey, Juan, can you give me somebody to come talk to us about what they're experiencing? But people don't want to talk. People are scared to speak because they have a family member who works at a refinery that if they speak, that could put that person's job in jeopardy. It's good that people have jobs. It's good that there's prosperity in the area. And a lot of people depend on that here, and we know that. The refinery workers and companies that don't have to live there, they're only there for a certain amount of time. It smells like money to them, but for us, we live near this. This is not no money for us. This is our health. And we're scared about our long-term prognosis of how long we're gonna live. Because we can't leave, we're here.
That day was so scary. It was so dark and it smelled so bad. And I couldn't go outside, but even though the door was closed and everything, I had watery eyes, runny nose, burning in the back of my throat. The asthma had kicked in real bad that I had to go to an aftercare doctor.
That time I got really sick, I did a lot of pain. I woke up in the middle of the night and I came to tell my stepdad that I was in pain, and I barely made it to their room. I couldn't walk. Everything hurt.
There were like 3 different agencies who were reporting back to us. The EPA had a plane that was flying over saying, oh, this is not hazardous. We had the county that was monitoring. No, everything is great. Then we had the state of Texas, and they're like, residents, you guys are cool.
They could have already had things in place, but they didn't. The point is to already have everything in place so that we get the data that we need to find out what's actually in the air when something does happen.
There are 2 pollutants that are a big concern in Houston in terms of cancer. One of the pollutants is benzene, and the other one is 1,3-butadiene. Benzene is everywhere in the United States because it's emitted from cars. It's in gasoline, so it's common. We have higher levels than other places because it's also emitted from industry, like these chemical plants and refineries. Benzene is what we call a Class A carcinogen, which means we know for certain that it's linked to cancer in humans. Benzene causes leukemia. 1,3-butadiene is a specific pollutant that comes from rubber manufacturing and things like that. We have that here in Houston. It's also a Class A carcinogen, and it also causes leukemia. We really don't know what happens when a person breathes both of them together, whether their risk is additive, whether it's multiplicative, how they affect each other.
Even like me, over the years, we can sit here all we want and say, this is bad, we smell it, guys gotta do something, but they always come back, hey, what proof you got? It's starting to smell real bad right now, actually. Right now, we can call TCQ right now. Give me my cell phone, I'll call them right now, hey, I smell something right now, come and check it out. They don't come right away. They'll come like 4 or 5 hours later, maybe they'll come the next day. By the time they get here, it's gone. So it's like, what proof do you got to prove what you're saying? I'm working as the community air monitoring program manager now, is we're working on installing local air monitoring networks in these local communities. With these air monitoring networks that we're going to put up, that we're going to have proof because these things record what's going on. If we don't defend ourselves and the state ain't watching for us, the federal government ain't watching for us, well, we got to do for our own. This is called a purple air monitor. This one's real good at measuring particles in the air, smoke, dust. So we installed the purple air monitor here on 15th Street. As long as it's connected to the power, connected to the Wi-Fi, the monitor will continue to report. You can see there's some in the middle of downtown. Air quality is green, that means it's good. If it's yellow, it's getting bad. If it's red, it's bad air quality in that area. So we're hoping to get as many of these up here in the Galena Park area so we can have a nice footprint of what's going on in this area.
I've been doing chemical plant cases so long that when ITC happened, it was, I think, the 5th case I've been working on in 2 years. I represent over 4,500 plaintiffs, and there's, I believe, over 10,000 people that have been represented by lawyers. The only way that I can have a case is in an acute injury state with medical records within the first week or two, and that's it. Because after that, within 48 to 72 hours, the chemical is out of your system, even if you did breathe it in, and that clears you from any future issues or injuries.
Although you'll never know.
You'll never know,
You never know in the
but
end.
scientifically,
Yes.
which is what the law requires me to have, I don't have that proof.
So we're about to get on 225 and just head down towards Pasadena. My dad passed away a couple years ago, but he used to work in the refineries. He had a heart attack and he died at Chevron where he worked at. But before he died, he was looking for lawyers because he was exposed to asbestos and exposed to a lot of stuff, and because his health started changing on him. But he had a heart attack before.
So these neighborhoods in particular have 6 times the rate of ambulance-treated asthma attacks as the rest of Houston, and they have 2 times the rate of cardiac arrest. So we know that pollution is a trigger for both of those.
Look at that company over there. That's one of the worst offenders, Pasadena Refining. Right now, they're trying to get a permit right now so they can emit more hydrogen chloride here in the air, which they already do enough, but they want to do more. We found out about it, and now myself and a bunch of Pasadena residents, we're trying to contest that hearing because we don't need no more pollution. I live in Galena Park, and I worry a lot about this company because the winds usually are blowing in from the southeast, from the Gulf, so they blow in. Galena Park is right there in this direction.
How long has it been smelling like this for?
It started after the rain stopped around 5:30. But it's gotten stronger as the night has gone by.
That's it right there.
Yep. Oh my God.
It smells right here.
Yeah, it's coming from there, bro.
It smells right there.
You're about to get an even bigger Smith.
That's it right there.
Breaking news tonight from LaPorte. A chemical leak at the Lyondale Basel plant leaves 2 dead and hospitalizes over 30 after the release of some 100,000 pounds of an acetic acid mixture. Houston lawyer Benny Agosto Jr. explains.
It'll burn you or kill you because when it goes into your lungs, it burns your lungs on the inside. You can't breathe. And unfortunately, there's no CPR that'll save you.
This is what the acetic acid released in Tuesday night's deadly leak at the Lyondale Basel plant in LaPorte does to the body, according to attorney Benny Agosto Jr.
I can't recall of seeing 100,000 pounds of acetic acid coming out into a unit where they're working.
The leak will be closely investigated by the Chemical Safety Board and OSHA, according to Augusto Jr.
I've seen small releases that some pipe just leaks a little bit, burns a little bit,
But nothing like this.
Nothing like this. This has been something very extraordinary.
Some states have zoning. Texas and Houston doesn't have zoning. It's pretty inexpensive to live next door to a chemical plant, so people want to live at an inexpensive place. But then you're exposed to the environment hazards that are coming out of it. And this is not new, especially not in the Gulf Coast. It's something that we've had to deal with for many, many years.
So what's the remedy? The remedy is cash? Is that what?
Yes, the Texas Constitution only allows us to, during civil suits, to sue for money damages. We can't put anybody in jail. We can't enforce anything else, any other compliance to the law or to TCEQ or EPA.
I wouldn't want a refinery or any chemical plants within a 25-mile radius of where people live or animals live. But that's not the case. So we're having to force these refineries to be good stewards, or we're filing lawsuits against them.
For those people living right at the fence line, this is today, this is their children, this is their life, and I think we need to do whatever we can to get them out of harm's way and make sure that they have, clean air now.
They found the tumor while she was still in the womb. So it was like a month out before she was born. They saw that she had a growth coming right above her kidney area. They could tell that every time they checked it, it was getting bigger and bigger. So they had to induce her birth almost a month beforehand because they were scared that if they left her in there, it might grow too big and really hurt her. As soon as she came out, they had to do surgery on her to try to get the growth out. After they did the surgery, then she had to go through chemo. And then we waited a little bit and it came back. And after it came back a second time, did a second surgery. It was the most painful thing I went through because she was in so much pain afterwards, but it seems like they really got it the last time. She's been over 4 years now, she's been cancer-free. I can't say for sure that the pollution has something to do with it, but it is in the back of my mind. It makes you wonder. I mean, there's no way to really know, to trace it back, where it came about and how it got to it, but it does get me scared about living so close to refineries, about what it could affect her long term.
Hey, Daddy, push me. Push me, Daddy. I love swinging. And swinging is the best day ever.
What strides do you think the oil companies, the refineries have made in solving this problem?
I probably can't comment.
But when BP Texas City exploded, that plant, we have memos from the president and the plant manager that says, we're making so much money, we're printing money. That was the attitude that these folks had. And that is an attitude that we see across. And so we see that for 50, 60, 70 years, some of these plants are that old, they've been making money every week, every month. When you are in Pasadena and Deer Park, the average person does not smell money. What we smell is the side effects of the production, whether it's plastics or gas that's being worked up over there. It doesn't smell good. But ultimately, the smell of money is not really running through the community. It's running up the halls of the shiny tower where the decisions are made.
It'd be nice to have a dialogue with the companies and have them be more accountable for when there is an issue. I mean, right now, some companies get fined for what they do and get written up, but a lot of times TCEQ doesn't even collect the fines, so they're so low, the companies will gladly pay it. They're like, here, it's easier to pay it than it is to try to make improvements. I mean, it's not like they're gonna shut down and leave because they got more money to outlast us. We're working on trying to monitor the air to see what's going on, to try to cut back. You know, so the companies will cut back on their emissions to try to make it safer for the community and trying to clean up the air to do the best that we can. If I wanted to leave, I guess I could, but I don't want to be like everybody else that leaves and leaves it all behind. I want to be able to make a fight and stand for our community, because why should we have to leave?